How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be discussing why Technoblade beat Dream. Before we get into the rest of the video, as you probably see right now, the majority of people who watch my channel are not subscribed, and if you don't already know, I'm trying to hit 30k because once I hit 30k subscribers, I will get YouTube rank on Hypixel, which is pretty cool. I can flex that, and I don't know, it's a pretty cool thing. So if you're not already subbed, I'd really appreciate it. Well, if you could leave a like and comment something down below, like hi or hello or hey or something, I really don't care. Likes and comments don't do that much for the YouTube algorithm, but I really do appreciate them as like a creator. Probably my favorite thing about YouTube is reading and replying to the comments. Yesterday I spent about an hour replying to comments, and I think I do a pretty good job of replying to every single one. So if for some reason you comment hi and I don't respond to you, I'm either asleep or I missed it. So just comment it again in a couple hours and I almost guarantee you I will. This video will be structured, the first part of it will be me describing the training that they did. The second part will be me going through each individual game that they had, and then the final part will be me describing kind of holistically overall why Techno won and why Dream lost. But before I get into that, I really just want to have a huge shout out to Nat. They've been a kind of a new subscriber to the channel. I found them always leaving really good and thorough comments on my videos, like really good, like really insightful and articulate. And I actually DM'd them on Twitter and said, hey, do you want to help me with the new video? And they gave me an insanely detailed response. And I'm actually kind of basing the majority of my video off this response. So shout out to Nat. They didn't want me to link anything, so I don't really have anything to link, but just shout out to them. And anyways, let's get into part one. So this is actually interesting. It kind of appeared that Technoblade seemed to train more in 1.8 than 1.16, which would be weird, as you probably have noticed in the last couple of videos. I talked about how Technoblade was strong in 1.8 and Dream was strong in 1.16. So the question would be like, why would he do this? Well, for a couple reasons. First, he knew that Dream would be practicing a ton in 1.8. And if Technoblade lost any of the 1.8 duels, he kind of had no chance of winning because he knew that Dream was already insane in 1.16. As well, if you think about the last year, what has Technoblade been doing? He's been playing the Potato War, which, yeah, that's in 1.8, but it's farming potatoes, and he's also been playing in tournaments. However, these tournaments have been in 1.9 and beyond combat, meaning his 1.8 and below combat skills have not. He's probably getting a little rusty with them. First game. The first game is in 1.8. They decided this from a coin flip. But anyways, the two of them they go into the center of the arena and they're throwing rods. Technoblade has never been that good at rods, at least in his own words. I'm sure he's better than me and most people who play, but he's never been that good at rods. But if you see him rodding against Dream, obviously rods don't do anything except give a little bit of knockback and they're good for combos. His rods appear to be a little bit more accurate than Dream's at the moment, which is a huge step of improvement from what he's been doing before. So we already know that he's added rodding into his practice schedule. The two of them trade hits, but all of a sudden Dream gets Technoblade gets a combo. Why does he get this combo? Because he employs W tapping, which if you don't know, Technoblade has been pretty good at block hitting, but we've never really seen him W tap. Who's really good at W tapping? Calvin. Who did he train with? Calvin. It is because of this W tapping, Dream actually takes fall damage, which gets Techno a little bit above him, which is, if you don't know, half a heart or even 1 heart of health can totally sway a PvP battle if people are both really good, both have really good accuracy, and are both trading hits. So Technoblade wins the first game. We're on to the second game, 1.16. 1.16, they're mostly going to be using axe crits, which is a pretty effective method in 1.16 combat. So they're trading hits, but eventually Dream wins it. I think Technoblade went in a little bit too quickly with his axe crits, and he wasn't 100% prepared. And at the end of the day, some of these PvP, like you can't there's a certain extent to the analysis for some of these, because sometimes they just rush in and they just trade hits, and whoever gets the first hit wins. So at the end of the day, Dream wins game 2. Now we're on to game 3, 1.8, back in Technoblade's kind of territory. However, it started out with Dream getting a lucky combo in Technoblade. So Techno starts to run because he's down and he needs to regenerate. So as he is running away and as Dream is chasing him, he stops, turns, sharply just pivots and just combos on Dream and ends up winning the game. This is interesting because it completely threw Dream off guard. Techno is down on hearts. He's chasing him. It's almost like something Dream would do in a Minecraft Manhunt video, but Technoblade actually employed the tactic. I don't know, Game 3 was very interesting. If you're going back and you only have a little bit of time, I definitely suggest watching Game 3. So now we're on to Game 4, which is in 1.16. And this is actually interesting. So Techno's stripping some logs, which the commentators, I think it was Chris at the time, I'm not totally sure, but the commentators say, oh, this is to get Technoblade, to get Dream all riled up or off his game. In a commentary later, Techno revealed that this was by accident. But anyways, that's not the important part of this game. The important part of this game is that Technoblade is up, Dream is down in hearts. Dream runs away and tries to do the exact same thing that Technoblade did, which is run away, stop, turn around. But for some reason, it just doesn't work out. So because of this, Technoblade is now up. So now we're on to Game 5, which is in 1.8. Dream is down. Dream has also lost a game in 1.16, which is bad for him. So he's kind of going in all or nothing at this point. He goes in, he just gets some really good hits in the beginning, and because of that, he's able to win the game. I know there isn't that much commentary to this, but there isn't really a lot in Game 5 besides Dream just out in the beginning, gets the first hit, which in a lot of times will decide how the game goes. If two people are really good, you're able to get the first hit and you're able to get a few more hits. That's the game right there. Game 6, 1.16. Once again, Dream is just able in the very beginning to get a pretty good combo, and in my opinion, I think that shook up Technoblade a little bit, because Techno was up, and I don't think he took his foot off the gas, but I think he was kind of taken aback by how Dream stormed back in these next two games. So Dream gets a combo, Technoblade misses a little bit, and then Dream just kind of smothers him from here. Game 6 is a pretty easy game, and it's a complete wipeout. So now they're tied, which is interesting. And the lead that Technoblade had before is now gone. Game 7, 1.8. So this game was very close, but Technoblade did win this. It's kind of hard to say because the majority of the combat was done in a combo or done by just trading hits. However, I believe that Technoblade did win because of combos he was able to do with his new W tapping skill, but it's really up for debate. Game 7, Technoblade won, and it put him back in the lead a little bit. Game 8, 1.16. So Technoblade made a few mistakes here. First, he had his crossbow out, and when he switched to his axe, he had to reload the axe, because in 1.16, there's reload times for weapons, which aren't really shown there. It's kind of weird, but I think it's just, I think Techno was just in his 1.8 mood, because they were just in 1.8. So Dream's able to get some combos on him, and then Technoblade makes a mistake and goes to his sword instead of the axe, and Dream's just able to get the axe crits on him and just wins the game. Game 9, 1.8. So Technoblade did a pretty good job here. He used his rods well for combos and to draw him out, but really Dream let Technoblade regen in the very beginning, which Dream could have won this game if he didn't let him do that. But at the end of the day, Technoblade was very focused, and this was his turf, so he won this game. And this kind of swung it, even though this was the game that he was supposed to win. Dream could have won it if he played a little bit differently in the beginning of this duel, and that would have completely swung things. Game 10, 1.16. It's very important to point out that with Techno having 5 points, he cannot lose at this point. Dream can only lose or tie. I should say Techno can only win or tie. This would probably affect the mindset of both of them, because if you're Dream, you can only lose or tie, but if you're Technoblade, you cannot lose. You're going to get $50,000 or you're going to get $100,000, and you're not going to lose at this point. So Technoblade played very well during this game. He understood his tactics, he did everything perfectly. I think because he was in the right mindset, because he knew he couldn't lose. So this game actually relates a bit to my older video about why Technoblade trained with Fruitberries, and I think that in the final game, the game that won him, really kind of showed why training with Fruitberries was a good idea. So they basically traded hits. However, when Dream went in for a crit axe hit, which if you don't know, a critical hit only happens when you have the height and you come down and you strike while coming down. So if you jump and you hit while you're falling down, you get a critical hit, which does more damage. However, if you back up, it is harder to do a critical hit. So what Fruitberries taught Technoblade was when Dream comes in to do an axe crit, to kind of back up to mess him up a little bit. And in my opinion, I think this is what got him over the edge. as well as just Technoblade not missing, just being on point, because he was in the right mindset, in my opinion. If for some reason Dream could have won this game, if it was like 4-4 next person wins, I don't know who would have won at that point. Even if everything went exactly the same, maybe Technoblade wouldn't have gotten... the nerves might have gotten to him, I don't know. But at this point, I think it was both Fruitberries' teachings and the fact that Technoblade could not lose at this point that really threw him over the edge. Final part of the video, I'm going to go over very generally why I think what happened in the 1.8 games and the 1.16 games did. I just want to say, if I'm ever critical of a player, realize that they're both much better than me, and they would 10-0 me no matter what. So when I think of me as almost like a sports commentator, you know that they can't play that sport well, but they observe it a lot, and they can definitely make some comments on it. This was interesting. This is something that Nat pointed out to me, as I already gave a shout out to them earlier in the video. But anyways, in the 1.8 games, Dream played it like 1.16. In 1.16, Dream really just goes in for the axe crits, goes full on, just whacking away. But in 1.8, you really want to play, you want a rod, you want a W tap, you want a strafe. You got to do it it's completely different than 1.16. Yes, Dream understood that you could get as many hits as you want. There was no recharge to the damage you did, but I don't think he understood the W tapping, strafing, and rod as well as Techno did. So in 1.16, I really think it was Fruitberries that brought Techno over the edge to get those few games that brought him to the victory. I mean, we just spoke about the last game, the most important. Well, some could argue that Game 9 was more important than Game 10 because Game 9 set up Technoblade for having a perfect mindset of he can't lose in Game 10. But for the sake of score, let's say that Game 10 is the most important. I really do think it was Fruitberries that really did bring him over the edge in Game 10. So let's talk about Technoblade. Obviously, the dedication worked. He put in a lot of time in 1.8 as well as 1.16. He learned about axe critting, and he learned about the styles of 1.16 from Fruitberries. In 1.8, he learned about W tapping, S tapping, strafing, and rodding. The rodding was very obvious even in the very first game where they just started off by trading rod hits and Technoblade was more accurate. I think my prediction in my very first video about this that I have still up today, where I said I think Technoblade is going to win because he's going to put in more time. I don't know if he put in more time, but he definitely used his time better, in my opinion, for the reasons I just said. Obviously, they're both incredible players, and I both enjoyed both of them, and I would have been okay with either one of them winning. I would have been happy for either one of them, but I think my prediction originally was correct. Technoblade put in the time that he knew he needed, and it really showed. It really paid off. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, if you guys don't already know, if you're new to the channel, I should say, whenever I end the video, I ask people to comment door down below. So basically, for two reasons. One, so I can see who makes it all the way to the end of my videos, and two, to confuse people who don't make it all the way to the end. I want to show a big appreciation to the people who watch my videos all the way through, because if you don't know, leaving a like, leaving a comment, sharing the video does help the video perform better, but the number one thing that helps my video get out and shows it to new people is if you, the viewer, watches it all the way to the end. That is really what helps me the most. So I want to show the most appreciation for those people. So also, first person who... funny enough, I started this in the last video. First person to comment door gets the door crown for the day, or until the next video. So if you happen to be the first person who comments door, I will award you with the door crown until the next video is up. I know that's kind of weird. It'll make sense if you're the first person to comment door. So make sure to go down and do that. Finally, if you're still watching and you have a little bit more time and you want to help my channel out a little more, look on the recommended. Look in about 20 seconds for the outro. I'm going to have some videos recommended. Or click on my channel if you can just watch more of my videos all the way through. If you really just want to help my channel out, that's what you can do. Just binge watch my videos and then just stay on YouTube. That really does help with the YouTube algorithm, and I appreciate it. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching, and I don't know which video I'll make next, and I would love some suggestions. So to the people who watch my videos all the way through, I kind of want you to know that this channel is also kind of yours, in a sense that I want to do what you want. So comment down below what other videos you want me to make or topics you want me to talk about, and as always, guys, I appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next one.